Oui, ma petite.
Is it possible for one to make love wrapped up in a French flag?
Huh?
Chérie, is it possible?
Yes, it is technically possible to make love while wrapped up in the French flag.
But you must have a great big flag.
No problem. France is a great big country.
That must be really moving.
If you are a patriot.
The love for one's country becomes one of physical love.
Centuries of history were bound to be overwhelmed. The French flag has been the official flag of France since 1794 and the official flag of the armies since 1812, with the exception of the periods of restoration from 1814 to 1815 and 1815 to 1830.
People died for this flag.
Many.
The French word for flag comes from the word for sheet. In the Middle Ages, it was a sheetlet. Look, I am now wrapped in a sheet. We can sleep in a cloth flag.
Oh, so you're all right then. There's nothing wrong with me wrapping myself in your flag sheet.
No, nor with you wrapping me.
Watch it. Do not insult the French flag. Since July 2010, destroying, damaging, or using the French flag in a degrading manner in a public place is an offense liable to a fine of 1,500 to 3,000 euros.
What kind of offense? Making love is no offense, I hope. And we're not going to be destroying or damaging anything, are we?
Some people were seen wiping their ass with the flag.
The cloth is much too fine. It's not at all fit for farts.
Oh, and anyway, even without the flag, some people will think that making love itself is an offense, an obscenity, pornography, etc. Today, having sex in a public place falls under Article 222-32 of the Penal Code. It is considered indecent exposure and it will cost you a year in prison and a fine of 15,000 euros.
Clad in the flag will cost us less then?
Oh, no doubt.
You are my good little Frenchman.
Two good French people. We are two good little French people.
No fear of this staining our Frenchness?
Mr. Justice can still harden the law.
Oh, yes, harden it. Oh, yes, let it harden.
Oh. Do you know what would be great? Oh, yes, truly fantastic. You should have a Phrygian cap.
Oh, fantastic. A Phrygian cap and no panties. These are the roots of our Constitution.
All good French people have a Phrygian cap in their closets.
Is there no rules of the degrading use of a Phrygian cap?
No, another gap in our lax law.
Judges will have their own way.
Oh, you do look pretty like that, Marianne.
Why are you calling me Marianne? Do you want to play Pierre Le Fou again?
Oh, do not forget, my name is Ferdinand. And you, make no mistake, ma petite, you are Marianne because of the cap. Marianne, the symbol of the Republic. Brigitte Bardot, Mireille Mathieu, Catherine Deneuve, all of them have been Marianne, and now you.
Ooh, I feel it prickling down my womb.
Oh, we have never had such fiery foreplay, have we?
No, not as patriotic.
Ooh. Oh! Assieds-toi ici, dans ce fauteuil. Voilà. Je te donnerai un coup de maquillage. Voilà. Le blanc, bleu et rouge à lèvres. So, have we ever made love without music?
Once. In your car when your radio was dead.
No. It was not because the car radio was dead. It was that we had decided to lie across the hood. It was at Fougères, was it not?
And on the beach at Fréjus?
Ah, but the sound of the waves, is that not music for you?
Oh, and do you remember the time when we rushed like maniacs to the first hotel we could find in Fécamp?
I wasn't there.
No, you weren't. And the music either.
Oh, but remember, tonight only one music can suit us.
The Marseillaise of King's Boom.
Oh, no, always toys with the culture, ma petite. No, we must go back to the authentic. Remember, we've already done it to the Marseillaise of Gainsbourg.
I wasn't there.
Indeed you weren't. But Gainsbourg was.
I don't think I could do it with the real Marseillaise.
Oh, be careful, ma petite. You are not far from insulting the national anthem. A crime sanctioned by imprisonment of 6 months and a fine of 7,500 euros.
I did not say anything bad.
No, from the moment that you felt you were not able to make love while listening to La Marseillaise, there was an insult to Roger de Lille, the composer.
Can I fake it? And if you know I'm faking it, there's no reason for you to get angry.
That reminds me of those soccer players who pretend to sing the national anthem before an international game. They open their mouths because they know that the cameras are fixed on them and that it screws it up badly if people see them with their noses in the air but no sound comes out. However, they are simply chewing gum.
Arise, you children of the fatherland.
The day of glory has arrived.
Against us all is standing tyranny.
Its bloody standard is raised.
Ooh, la la, show it to me.
Oh, its bloody standard is raised. Listen to the sounds in the fields.
The howling of their troops.
They're coming into our towns.
To cut the throats of your sons and companions.
To arms, you citizens, form your battalions. March on, march on. Let impure blood wash over our furrows.
Oh, God, that gives me the creeps. How would the Gainsborough be?
It flows to arms, you citizens.
No. Frankly, I cannot do it. That an impure blood waters our furrows? Ugh. But yet it does give me an idea. A girl has her period. The furrow of the buttocks trickles.
The bloody flag?
Yes, one could appreciate that too. But for all the rest, does all this blood excite you?
Oh, well. But here are other verses. We'll enter on the battlefield to find our elders there no more. On the glorious dust we'll tread, and their virtues will chart our course, and their virtues will chart our course.
Cochon,
Oh.
that a dick so pure honors your asshole.
Oh, so well, that's fine, and that's poetry, eh? So it's no longer a barbarous chant, an ode of tough meat to throw to our soldiers on the plains of Afghanistan. No, it's no longer a chant, an ode, a call to the guts, to the spindly intestines under the fire of the kamikazes. Oh yes, ma petite, the war of 1914 was a Marseillaise shout at the top of one's voice and 5 liters of jug wine mixed with the blood.
And you think in 10 minutes we will again be good little French people?
Oh, yes, it's true that we have lost our authorities' esteem, but in fact we do need a cock.
A cock? A real cock?
The national symbol of France.
And what about the risks of insulting?
Almost none. On the contrary, the cock is no longer appreciated, not even in the countryside. See, we accuse it for singing early in the morning, for howling cock-a-doodle-doo too many times, for spoiling the morning for anyone who wants to sleep late, for provoking quarrels between neighbors, for scattering the manure and scaring the chickens in front of small children, for fighting with each other and leaving their feathers and finding themselves with their butts in the air, for defending themselves when someone wants to cut their throats, and finally, for being too hard on your plate.
So then the cock is out of fashion?
Oh, no, ma petite. Sultan pointed out that in Latin the words cock and gall both come from the Latin gallus malus. See, at the beginning of the 12th century, the Middle Ages, the enemies of France used these words to satire, pointing out that the French, and particularly their king, were as proud as the animal of the henhouse. See, by their argumentative nature, the French realized the significance of this expression while making this proud animal their symbol.
Ooh. And because of our argumentative nature, we continue to have cocks, and not only on our church towers.
To arms, you citizens!
The hour that the cock has arrived! Oh!
Against you, ma petite!
The great dick has risen! Oh!
No, on the contrary, we have honored it.
I shouted when the flag rustled on your butt.
I came when the cloth buried itself in your stomach.
If ever there was a child to be born from this tricolored population, who could say that we were degrading the flag while we were repopulating the nation?
Right. And to think that I wasn't wearing a condom.
And to think I wasn't taking the pill.
In any case, no one can say there was a degrading use of the French flag.
No, no one. Your fingers brushed against my anus with such delicacy.
Oh, your lips touched my balls with so much elegance, a very French elegance.
If at that exact moment we had been listening to a speech by General de Gaulle, I believe that an insult would have been committed, for he is a true and great symbol of victorious France. We do not have the right to take it out on such a man, on such an airport, on such an aircraft carrier, on such a roundabout on the Champs-Élysées.
Oh, when we had first embraced, we had made fun of the Eiffel Tower. Almost 7 million visitors a year. And yet certain female bodies bear a strange resemblance to the Eiffel Tower. Yours, for example, it is very slender on top and widens toward the bottom.
If we had made love under the Eiffel Tower, you with the mask of Charles de Gaulle, and me with the mask of Joan of Arc, while the Republican band was playing the Marseillaise at a lower key, while Marianne was being sodomized by the gallant cock.
Oh, do it with the Eiffel Tower! That is as serious as attacking French gastronomy.
To attack French gastronomy, our cultural heritage of humanity, some hundreds of jobs in our national kitchens would be lost. That would be a unanimous scandal and condemnation. To give a degrading image of our vineyards is vile. Several drops of a 1983 Saint-Émilion between my breasts, which descend not into my stomach, but onto, which trickle down my pubic area and settle on my lips.
To mix the French wine with their female secretions is an unspeakable lowness. Kneel before haute couture and art, which is also an industry. And this activity also allows a certain number of suppliers to subsist, whose business is both handcrafted and ancient.
And who would make fun of the sale of arms and the revenues of the French armies?
Yes, it would have been particularly out of place on our part to indulge in a licentious act on an armored tank sold by France to Tunisia.
We must respect Victor Hugo, the French nuclear energy, our handball players, and our chiefs.
Without forgetting the French-speaking nations. The term francophone went in 20 years from a purely geographic concept to a voluntary political group.
Do you think we could have made fun of the francophone at the crucial moment of orgasm? When I dug my nails into your back, I would have whispered some francophone words.
Be sure I only heard your wild screams.
To make fun of France is to make fun of the world.
About the French lovemaking, the French kiss. All that the whole world envies us for. You would have to have no civic sense to make love while making fun of the French lovemaking.
Good. understand that the use of the French flag to wipe ourselves could be considered degrading, but I do wonder, could one wipe their butt with the German flag?
Well, the law does not forbid it.
But then Europe wouldn't exist. If one could blow one's nose on the Italian flag, clean one's toilet with the Spanish flag, and use the British flag to clean shop windows and window shields.
No, each country defends its own cloth, its own skin, its own flag.
But then Europe wouldn't exist. Oh, you know what we could do? We could even sit on the European flag.
Or likewise, the national anthems, other nations' national anthems could be used as telephone rings or as wake-up calls for laboratory rats.
Tomorrow, we will make love under the Star-Spangled Banner of the United States.
What power!
While listening to the Chinese anthem.
What audacity!
I will be only dressed in a maple leaf.
Oh, Canada!
And a kangaroo vibrator with batteries will take me to 7th heaven.
Vibrator? That would happen only in an Australian bed.